Every time you leave, getting lost outside in the cold, we faded, outdated.
Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Nigel Walker here, and today I'm kicking off my series called Washed Up D1 Sprinter to Boston Marathon Qualifier. So basically what this is, we're taking me, somebody that comes from a sprint background, and pretty much trying to train to qualify for the Boston Marathon and run the race in the spring of 2021. So that means I have to qualify. My qualifying time has to be under 3 hours. I have to do that by September 2020. And I'll be going through my background, why I even want to do something like this, how I'm going to do it, and just kind of like the timeline of how I'm going to structure my training, when I'm going to do my races, and when I'm going to apply for Boston. And I'm going to take you through that entire journey. So I initially started off as a soccer player when I was a young kid. I did that all the way up until middle school. And then I decided to try out for track because everybody said that I was really fast, and I showed it on the soccer field. Typically, I was faster than most of my peers, and I decided to do track, and I did pretty well at it. And I started to specialize in the 400 meters all the way up to the 800. I did 800 sometimes, but I primarily focused on doing the 400 hurdles. And I became really good at it, and I had a decent high school career. And then when I went to UConn, I ran track there. I had a very mediocre career. And that's where I started to learn that my sprint speed was not up to par with the elites. And the main thing that kind of held me there on the same level was that I had really good work ethic, and I had pretty good endurance for a 400 meter runner. And it showed through a lot of our practices. So when we did a lot of the longer distance workouts, a lot of things that require more endurance, I was one of the best on the team for those types of practices. And I was not the best when it came to the shorter distance practices. So this actually almost made me think, man, I probably should have done middle distance or long distance running, because I don't have that raw sprint speed, but I do have the endurance to, I guess, carry myself forward. So I maybe would have been better off doing 800 or the 1600 meters, or maybe even the 5K. Who knows? So I actually do feel like I have a lot of untapped potential in doing the marathon. And the reason why I wanted to start getting into marathon running, so I actually ran the Hartford Marathon October 12th, and I ran a 3:39, and I don't think that's that bad for someone that did their first marathon and never ran anything further than 5 miles before starting training. And I actually got inspired to do this by watching David Goggins and then a coworker that also runs marathons. And I was pretty bored, and I wanted a new challenge, so I figured that it was best that I just trained for a marathon. And I was pleasantly surprised with my time. I only trained for about 6 months. I averaged 25 miles a week. I still lifted 2 to 3 times a week. But yeah, come race day, I just felt it. I ran a 3:38. That's about an 8:21 minutes per mile pace. And, I thought I did pretty well. And I was like, man, I think I could do really well and run under 3 hours and qualify for Boston. And I think this is a very good series, and I want to be able to document this and show this to other people, to show that they can do it. They can try new things. They can push past their limits, and they can become better and top performers. And another pastime that I have is I'm really into performance optimization, and I'll be using these different performance optimization methodologies on myself, and you can see how I use it, and I will also be able to share insights on how you can use it as well. So you can pretty much use me as a case study, and then use these different tips and tricks and these methodologies for yourself to do better in your training, or do better at school, or do better at work, or whatever challenges and goals that you might have. So that's why I wanted to do it. And now let me talk about how I'll do it. So I split it up between a couple different segments, right? So I have my physical training, my diet and sleep, and then something that I think is really underestimated is your mindset training. I'll talk about this a little bit later. And then my racing schedule. All right, so for my physical training, my goal is to try to run around 50 to 60 miles a week in training, do 1 to 2 speed sessions in a week, lift 3 times a week. I think I might do full body workouts. I'm not sure. I have to dial that in. And then do core work 3 times a week, and then do stretching, mobility, and recovery work every single day. It's pretty standard. And then for diet and sleep, I'm going to follow a rigorous sleep improvement and optimization program. And I've done a lot of research on sleep myself, and I actually have a video that I posted. I'll put it linked down below, called the 7-Day Sleep Transformation Guide. And you can actually watch that for yourself. It's actually really good information, and sleep is highly underrated when it comes to physical and cognitive performance. So that's one thing. And then I'll have a well-balanced diet to provide me with sufficient energy, calories, nutrition for recovery. And then I'll try to have 100 to 150 liters of water every single day, minimal caffeine and alcohol. And then when it comes to the mindset training, so I wanted to put this in here because I feel like this is the missing link between the greats, the elites, and the legends. All right, so the greats, they have natural talent and they show up and they do what they have to do, right? That's why they're great. And the elites, these might be extremely, extremely talented people, or people that were great and just happen to work really hard, right? But what creates the legend is they have the talent, the raw talent, the work ethic, and the mindset to pretty much be relentless and overcome all odds and do things that are unexpected and things that are amazing. And this is nothing physical. This is all in the mind. So I figured I might as well do some mindset training, right? So I'm going to be doing daily meditation for 5 to 20 minutes a day. This is going to really focus my mind. It's going to really be able to help me manage that pain later on in the race and in my training, and just to focus and just keep pushing through the pain. Right, and then I'm going to be a digital minimalist. I'm going to reduce my social media use, internet, and other technology use. And this will also help me focus my mind and be more focused and more productive, and actually decrease stress in my life. And then something I call subconscious reprogramming. I know this sounds crazy, but I actually probably make a video about this, another week, and I'll detail my subconscious reprogramming. And this is really important because our subconscious is actually controlling our brain 90% of the time, and really we're only our conscious mind is really using 10% of our brain. So we have to make sure that we have to reprogram our subconscious. And then my racing schedule, I'm going to strategically do 5Ks to half marathons to test my fitness level, to ensure I can run sub 3 hour pace. And I think sub 3 hour pace, that's about 6 minutes and 40 seconds per mile pace. Yeah. Somewhere around there. And then my goal race times leading up to the marathon: for the 5K, it's 16 minutes, which is 5:09 pace. Then the 10K, 33 minutes and 30 seconds, 5:23 pace. And then the half marathon, 1:15 time, and it's going to be 5:44 pace. And then the timeline of this journey, so from October, just all of this month, October and early November, I'm just going to be doing my post-marathon recovery from the Hartford Marathon. And then from November to March 2020, I'm going to be doing a lot of base training. Then, early spring to late spring, do 5Ks to 10Ks. And then in July, I'll be doing a half marathon to test my race fitness. And then in September, this is pretty much the last chance to get a BQ time in. So I'm going to do a marathon then, and that's where we're going to, go under 3 hours, and then that's going to be my qualifying time for Boston. So that's kind of the overview of the series. I'm going to be trying to release a video every week to give you an update on my progress, different insights that I have for you guys, different struggles that I'll be going through, challenges, positive things. And if you want to follow me more in depth, subscribe to me on YouTube. I'll be releasing a video every week. You can follow me on Strava. I'll put the links down below. And so follow those things if you want to see my training more in depth and my progress. And I'd like to share some more things with you guys, and I'm excited to start this series, and we'll be on our way.
Da